नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 1, verse number 8. King Sri Parikshit is speaking to Sri Sukadeva Goswami, and in the previous slokas he said that he have explained in detail the dynasty of Soma and Surya, and I want to hear more about Krishna. And then he explained how Krishna has protected his grandfathers and he himself from the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. So now he says, Rohinyastaniya prokto Ramaha sankarshanastvaya devakya garva sambandha kuto dehantaram vina. So he said that earlier you said that the son of Rohini is Balaram, who is also called Sri Shankarshana. And then while describing the children of Devaki, he also said that he is son of Devaki. Devakya Garva Sambandha. So how is it possible that he is son of Rohini and also of Devaki without changing the body? He can be son of one woman and then of another one by taking another birth. Like Suruchi was telling to Dhruva that if you want to sit in the lap of a Tanpad, then you have to take birth from me. You have to change your body. It's not possible to be in this body. So how is it possible that Balram, he is son of Rohini and also of Devaki, but he has the same body? So this is something very strange. So Sri Vishnath Chakravarti, he comments, Atra Vishesham Pruchati Rohinya iti Chaturbhi. So now he is asking specific questions about Balram and Krishna, about their Leela in the 4 slokas. Prokta, so in this sloka the word Prokta refers to what he said in the 9th canto, 24th chapter, 46th verse, Sankarshanam hi Ishwaram iti Devaki Putreshu api, and then he is also counted among the sons of Devaki in sloka number 54. Tasyeva Sankarshanasya Devakya Garva Sambandha Ukta. So there it is also said that he was born from the womb of, or at least he is related to the womb of Devaki. Sakuto Ghatta iti Akshepa. So this is the doubt which is being raised, that how is such a thing possible. And then he says, Kasman Mukundo Bhagwan Pitur Gehad Vrajam Gataha Kva Vasam Gyati Bhi Sardham Kritavan Satvatam Pati. So earlier Sukadeva Goswami also said that he took birth in Mathura, but then he went to Gokul in the 24th chapter, 9th canto. So he is asking that question, that how is that Bhagwan Mukunda or Krishna Pitur Gehad Vrajam Gata, how is that from his father's house he went to Vraja? Because generally child is born, stays with the parents. So how is that he left the parents and went to Vraja? What was bothering him? What was caused behind this? Was he eager himself or some other thing made him go? And Kva Vasam Gyati Bhi Sardham. And then where all he lived with his relatives there, because he lived in Gokula and then he moved to Nandagaon, and in between Chategara. So therefore Kwa Vasam Gyati Visarga. So Kwa means where all different places. Kritvan Satvatampati. The Lord of Satvatas or devotees, or Satvatas also clan of the Yadavas. So where did he stay? Pitur Vasudevasya Gehad Vrajam Mahavanam Gataha Vrajam Gatopi Pitur Nandasya Gehat Gyati Bhir Gopai Sakam Kva Vasam Kritvan. So from his father's house he went to Mahavan, that is Gokul, other side of Yamuna. And then after coming there also, where all did he stay or move around from the house of his father Nanda? Vraje vasan kimakaron madhupuriyam cha keshavaha bhratram cha avadhit kansam matrir adhat tadarhanam deham manusam ashritya kati varshani vrishnibhi yadopuriyam saha vatsit patnya katham abhavan Prabhu. While living in Vraja, what all did he do? And how did he go to Mathura, Madhupuri, and then why did he kill his mother's brother? So Mathur Bhratram cha avadhit. So that is very strange. Adhata darhanam. How is that such undesirable thing was done by him, or such an adharmic thing, atadarhanam, which doesn't deserve to be done, means wrong act. Why did he do such a wrong act? Because killing one's mother's brother is not something common. So why did he do that? And Deham Manusham Ashritya Kati Varshani Vrishnibhis Yadupuriyam Saha Vatsit. And in this human form, how many years did he live with Vrishnis in Yadupuri or Dwaraka along with them? And how many wives did he have? So Madhunam Puriyam Madhuramyam Dwarkayam. So Madhupuri is the word which is used for Mathura generally, but here it is a uplakshana of Dwarka also. So both Mathura as well as Dwarka. And Mathur Bhratram Kansam Kasmad Avadhit. So what impelled him to kill his mother's brother? Atadarhanam Matulatvat Vadha Anarham. So this is a very improper act. So killing one's maternal uncle. So why did he do that? Vrishni saha kati varshani avatsit. How many years did he spend with the Vrishnis? Varshani katham bhutani, and how did he pass his time? What are the various activities he performed? Manusham deham ashritya vartmanani ityarth. So while being in this form of human, Narakriti, so means how many years did passed when he was in this human form. Tatascha manushyamanena kati varshani iti artha phalita. So in other words, according to the human calculation, how many years passed? That is the significance. Paramatma narakriti iti narakriti param brahma iti gudham param brahma manushyalingam इत्यादिभिर मनुष्यत्यस्यैव स्वरूप लक्षणत्वाद व्याख्यांतरम न घटति. So in different places it is mentioned that Bhagavan has a form of human being, Narakriti. So Narakriti Param Brahman. The Param Brahman or Absolute Truth has human form. So at least Bible also agreed to that, because they say that God created human beings on His own image. So first He looked at Himself, then He created human beings. He was saying, okay, fingers like this, hands like this, right? It's easy to do that instead of making something new. So therefore He is Narakriti, and in Bhāgavatam itself comes later, Gudham Param Brahma Manushyalingam. So he is hidden Param Brahma. He is the supreme reality, but in human form. So he says that from these statements, his Swarupa Lakshana is Manushyatva. So Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana, these are the two types of Lakshanas. So his Swarupa Lakshana is human form. Swarupa Lakshana is that which defines the objects itself. Tatastha Lakshana is that the way the object manifests its characteristics outside. So this is the Swarupa Lakshana. So therefore when Bhāgavatam says Satyam Param Dhimahi, we meditate on Satyam. So that Satyam is this. Satyavratam Satyaparam Tru Satyam. Satyasya Yoni Nihitam Cha Satya. So this is Manushyalinga. That means he has hands, legs, Karpadadi. So that is his original Swarupa. And then he may have many other Swarupas. So therefore, human body is important because at least it resembles in its Swarupa. Right? So that's a great thing. So it is Bhagavad-abhas. Right? Abhas means similar, semblance. So that's why it is no surprise that many people in India think they are God. Right? Because God is a human being. So this is the reason that his Swarupa Lakshana is of human. So some people mistake others as God, other human being, and some people are thinking themselves as God. So how would you decide now who is a God and who is not God? And then Krishna says all this is Vasudeva. Right? So he is confirming it, that everybody is Vasudeva only. So what would you say to such people? And then he says that don't give any other vyakhya. Vyakhyantaram na ghatate. So any other explanation does not fit, means he does not have a form primarily, he is Nirakar, Nirguna. So this does not make sense. So of course they will say Manushya Manusham Ashritya Deham, that he took shelter of Manush Deha. So what does it mean? That he was not a human being, right? So how would you refute these people? Deham Manusham Ashritya, right? Sambhavami Atma Maya. I appear, I manifest myself. So Deham Manusham Ashritya Kati Varshani Vrishnibi. So how many years he spent with Vrishnis in the human body, taking shelter of the human body. That means after that he came back to his original position, right? So it seems the Advaita concept fits, and he's saying no, it does not fit. So what is the logic that it does not fit here?
Well, Babaji, the verse said is Gudam Param Brahma Manushya Lingam. That it's a Manushya Linga, sign of Manushya is Brahman, and they are all used as a Visheshan for Manushya Linga for Brahma.
No, Brahma is the Visheshya and Manushya Lingam is the Visheshana. And Linga is that, just like Dhuma is the Linga for fire.
No, but this Linga is different. This Linga doesn't separate. See, Visheshan Linga, it is Samvaya Sambandha.
Where is the Samvaya Sambandha?
Visheshan always have Samvaya Sambandha.
Then he is saying it is a Linga.
Yeah, so that he has to specify this is a Linga.
So there can be Samvaya Sambandha. What's the problem? Fire and smoke are always together.
Yes.
So one is indicative of the other. So Manushya body is the indicative of Brahman wherever.
So he's saying Brahma is indicator of Manushya Linga.
Huh?
It's a Brahma is indicator of Manushya Linga.
How is that?
Well, Brahma could also be in a
indicator is that which you see, and indicator is that which you don't see, right? You see the smoke, you don't see the fire. You see the human body, you don't see Brahman. So you see the human body and you say, oh, this is Brahman. And now you are putting the horse before the cart and saying that no, fire is the linga and smoke is what you are trying to prove. The smoke is visible. Vilas is getting impatient, yes, speak.
So maybe a different logic. So it says Gudham Param Brahma. So Gudham and Param, these are Visheshanas for Brahma. Brahma is Vishesha. And now Manushya Lingam. So this Gudham Param Brahma, this is the Uddesha. This is the known thing. And now I learned something new about it, which always comes after the Uddesha. And this is the Manushya Lingam, the Videya. So now he explains in this verse that this Param Brahma, this is also Manushya Linga.
Yeah, that's true, that he is manifest now in the human form. That's what which is not known to you. So he's telling that the very good Param Brahma, which does not have a human form, is now manifest as human form. So Deha Manushya Ashritya. So this suits Advaitavad.
Okay, then I probably have not understood the Purvapaksha.
Purvapaksha is simple, that the absolute reality is Brahman and he manifests as human being for a certain period and then back to Brahman. Okay, Bhushan.
This is okay, but the Advaita Vedantas are making an assumption which is unwarranted.
Okay, this first of all it is okay. So if it is okay, then there is no need to speak.
In the sense that Manusha Ashrita could also mean his Swarupa itself is Manusha.
So why
And it may
Ashritya? Ashritya is used when you have one subject, two verbs, like jalam pitva gacchati, right? So you drink water and then you go. So the person who is drinking and who is going is the same person. So Ashritya and Manusha Ashritya, he lived Deham Manusham Ashritya. So it is the Brahman who is there and he takes ashraya of this. How many years he lived? And that.
But then that assumes wouldn't that assume a duality? Because Brahman itself is the ashraya of everything. So then when it says Brahman takes ashraya, then if we apply the common meaning, then it will create, it will go against the actual meaning of Brahman, which is the ashraya of everything.
How does it go? That same logic you can give to Bhagavan also. Bhagavan is ashraya of everybody. So he is taking the ashraya of body then. That logic can be applied to anyone. If it applies to Brahman, it applies to Bhagavan also. And you can make difference by making upadhi anyway. Right? Upadhi is a nice thing. It can create distinction where there is no distinction.
Yes, my doubt is that this verse, this Advaita Vedantic reading assumes upadhi, but there is nothing mentioned here explicitly which says that the Deha is upadhi of Brahman.
Well, it is not mentioned, but how will you otherwise explain the verse? Brahman takes upadhi of body. If you don't say that, how will you prove? How will you explain the sloka? Obviously, verse is not going to tell you every step. The rest you have to extrapolate. Jamie, bolo? No? Why?
I think I have another argument.
Good.
If Brahman is Nirakara, and then by the Sankhya philosophy of the cause and effect, if Brahma doesn't have any form, then how can he accept the Manushyalinga form? It has to have some form.
So the Atma has a form?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh. What form?
In a divine way, it has a form, right?
Your Atma has a form?
Has a form. If it doesn't have form, it wouldn't get this body.
You should read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu. Okay.
Question. Do you want to prove it? You want to prove it from only that statement here, or do you want to prove it from all of Krishna's?
At least from this statement, how will you understand this statement?
I mean, do you want to refute this statement that Brahman takes the form of Krishna just from what is being said here, or from all of Krishna's?
No, you can say all of there also. I'm just seeing this sloka here. It says, Deham Manusham Ashritya Kati Varshani Vrishnibhi Yadupuriyam Saha Vatsi Patne Katham Abhavan Kati Abhavan Prabhu. Okay? I'm just explaining. So it looks like that Brahman took the human body. How many? Taking the shelter of human body, how many years he lived.
Babaji, can I try?
Of course, we are waiting for you.
Well, nothing original. I mean, I read Jiva Goswami's Sandarbha commentary on this. He says that Ashritya means Prakati Krutya, manifesting.
Okay.
And Manushya, it's not exactly human form, but human-like form. Not Manushya, but Manushya. So that's how he interprets it. And another thing he says is that it is an Abhiman, because he is on earth, he's walking among human beings. So in a sense, it's correct that he is he appears like a human being and appears among human beings and lives among them, although he has nothing to do here and it's not his abode. So Deham can also mean lokam. So Jiva Goswami gives all kinds of explanations.
Yeah, but these are all fancies of Jiva Goswami. Sloka is only saying Ashritya. Ashritya does not mean Praktikritya. Which dictionary gives this meaning? Ashritya is Praktikritya. Ashritya comes from Śrīmad-Dhatu, Śrī and Shrine. And you apply Yat Pratyaya on that. Lyap or Yat. It's Lyap. So, and then Tuk comes in between, becomes Ashritya. Okay, Tanmay, you didn't do a good job.
Sorry, Babaji.
I was expecting some stronger argument.
May I say one more thing again?
No, you said two more things.
Is it possible to say here that Parikshit Maharaj is asking the question, so he doesn't know it fully yet, and Shukadeva Goswami will now answer the question. So this we cannot take as a definitive evidence of based on the person who is speaking the verse.
So till now he is still confused, do you think, Parikshit? He has heard 9 cantos. So till now he is not clear that Bhagavan is ultimate truth, is Param Brahman or Bhagavan. That's your assumption, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a good one.
Yes.
Normally, inferior energy taking shelter of superior. Right?
What?
Inferior taking shelter of superior.
Hmm.
And Maya is inferior to the superior, like Maya Durutvidya. So Maya belongs to Krishna. So how Krishna taking shelter of Maya is not
Just using that,
the using is
utilizing. Just like you use pen, right?
yeah,
So pen is inferior to you,
yes,
but you write taking shelter of the pen.
not taking shelter. I am using this is mine.
Yeah, but that is also called Ashritya, can be used in that sense.
Taking shelter is also another means I am unable to.
You live in a house, right?
Yes.
So don't you say that I am taking shelter of my roof? You say or you don't say? Actually, house is called that only, which gives you shelter. It protects you. But house is not superior to you, you built it. It's inert. You take shelter of your cloth when you're in winter. Right?
Yeah, it can be different.
So you cannot say that you take shelter of.
Normally,
This is not some surrendering here. I'm taking shelter for worshipping. It's not in that sense. Anything you use, you can say that. Ashritya can be used in that.
Babaji,
Bolo.
Babaji, can we say that Ashritya can also mean that accepting, like Bhagwan accepts Matsya Sharir, Kurma Sharir, and these other Shariras. So he's accepted Manushya Deham.
Yes. Yeah, you can say that. So who is that who is taking this? You can say it, but the question is, who is that who is taking it?
Swayam Bhagwan.
So Swayam Bhagavan does not have a form.
No, he has a form, but then he has accepted Matsya, like he has accepted Matsya, like he has accepted Kurmya, so he has accepted human.
So what form he has then? That's the question. If he is accepting human, means he does not have a human. Okay, Tyagi.
So, can we use this Bible analogy that God created man in his own image?
I don't know what is that analogy. Okay, Tyagi Maharaj.
It seems to revolve around how you take the word ashrita, and from what I observed in general usage, ashrita doesn't always mean to take shelter in something, but it can also just mean to dwell or to be in a particular way.
Right.
And here in the Brihat Krama Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami reads it as astaya or astaya.
Asthaya.
So could it from the context it could be read either way. So Vishwanath Chakravarti is giving these other citations to say it could be read in either sense, but because these other places in Bhagavatam that are already discussed explain that his Swarup Lakshan is that he's a human, therefore when he's coming it's not that he's assuming something else, but he's just coming as he is. So the thing being made known is not that he's now assuming a human form, but now he's coming in his own form.
Yeah, that can be taken. So Ashritya doesn't have to be shelter in that sense, means remaining in human. Only problem is that means because this Ashritya signifies as if something was not before, and then it will not be. Because as I said, after drinking, after this, after, it signifies that. Yes.
Could we maybe also ask the question that ashritya is a verb, and so who is doing it? You asked this question, and I would ask if this Param Brahma has agency so that it can do actions?
Param Brahma does not have agency.
So therefore, it cannot be Param Brahma who does it.
At least it doesn't have agency. So that can be raised.
Tosni, it is defined as asritya iti chakshuhu asritya rupe sthita ityadivat prakashati iti artha. It gives a reference sa atma sthva asraya asraya iti atra cha swa asraya shabdasya tatha yoga maya upasritah. So this is the explanation Vaishnava Tosni gives.
Yes. So anyway, it's a good exercise, but you understand what is the meaning. So the meaning is, it can be explained in different ways. One of them is that his body is eternal. Okay? So he is eternally taking shelter of his body. So he is saying that in that body, how many years did he live here? You can actually make Deham as the subject. That how many years the body lived on earth. Deham kati varshani avartat. Vrishni bhi saha. Or Yadupuriyam saha vatsit. How long, how many years did this body live? And that body is human body. So just as when we say Nitya Mukta, so Nitya Mukta does not mean that once upon a time the person was not Mukta. Because generally we think like that if you say Patita, fallen, so it looks like that one was not fallen before. Right? So in the same way, Mukta, liberated, means once upon a time he was not liberated. But it is not always like that. The things which are eternal, it has to be used for them also. And there it does not relate to time. So if someone has an eternal body, and for that you use the word ashritya, then it does not relate to time that he was not having a body and then he takes shelter of the body. It simply means remaining in that body. How much time did he spend with the Yadus or Vrishnis? Vrishnibhis Yadu Pariyama Vatsit. So that's why, if you see, this is how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually comments that Vrishnibhisa Kati Varshani Avatsit. How many years he lived. Actually, he is making the Varshani as the agent. How many years passed with Vrishnis? So, Varshani Katham Bhutani, what type of Varshani years? Manusham Deham Ashrita Vartmanani, means existing in that human body. Tatascha Manushya Manena Kati Varshani Tirth. So that's why I say that by the scale or calculation of human beings, that's how he's making sense of it. So anyway, it is good to do little exercise, little Purva Paksha, so you can churn your brain. एतदन्यच्च सर्वं मे मुने कृष्ण विचेष्टितं वक्तुम् अर्हसि सर्वज्ञ श्रद्धाधानाय विस्तृतम्. So he says that this and other things, means things which I have not asked. It is not possible to ask everything, but he gets the idea from the question that basically he wants to hear about Krishna as much as is possible. It is not possible to explain everything. There's so many stories. If you read Mahabharata, Harivans Puran, Vishnu Puran, there's so many stories in Jamniya Mahabharata. So he has only 3 more days remaining. So everything has to be said only in that. So according to the time limit, as much as you can explain, then I want to hear Sarvam Me Mune Krishna Vicheshtitam. All that I want to hear, which was performed by Sri Krishna Vaktum Arhasi. So it behooves you to speak, and you are Sarvagya. You know everything. So again, this Sarvagya, sometimes people think means all-knowing. So Sarvagya should also be understood. It does not mean as what people think. Means he knows his field, his subject well. Shraddha-dhanaya vistritam. And I am full of faith. Because you can also speak to somebody who is faithful. If somebody is faithless, you don't feel like speaking to such a person. What is the point in speaking to that person anyway? It will have no effect. Probably the person will feel bored. So therefore he is assuring him that you have the qualification to speak because you are Sarvagya, and I have the qualification to hear because I am Shraddha-dhana. So this Shraddha Dhana is important. If one does not have Shraddha, then one should not speak. That's why Krishna says that don't give to somebody who is not having Shraddha. One who is against me, one who is envious me. So na idam tapaskaya, na bhaktaya kadachana. Don't give it to one who is an abhakta, non-devotee. Non-devotee means doesn't have Shraddha. Right? Says this in Bhagavad Gita. So wherever the qualification comes, to whom the knowledge has to be given, the Shraddha, whether you use the word bhakta or whatever, but all signifies Shraddha. So Shraddha is very important. If Shraddha is not there, then knowledge does not get transferred. It just goes above the head. Then the knowledge goes, circles around the head and then comes back. Right? Like mosquitoes sometimes circle around the head and then they fly away. They don't bite you. Right? So like that, knowledge also circles around and then takes off. So therefore, because Sukadeva Goswami may think why I have to speak in detail about Krishna. So he says, Shraddha Dhanaya Vistritam. I want to hear in much detail. So there is no comment on this.
Babaji, like if anyone seeks knowledge, then automatically doesn't it mean that he has Shraddha? Because otherwise, why would one seek knowledge about anything? Even if one goes in, say, medical profession or whatever engineering profession, he has some Shraddha that, or similarly for spiritual life, if someone comes to spiritual life and seeks knowledge, does it not imply that the person is Shraddhadan?
Okay, who will answer that now? It's a good question. Anybody will answer him? Is it always implied? When people go to hear, do they always have Shraddha? It would be wonderful if that was the case. So most of the time they don't have Shraddha. People have different visions. Some people go to hear Katha because they want to steal shoes. Isn't it? I think in India many people have experience of losing their shoes when they go to Katha. Right? So somebody is there taking it. So he's also coming to hear Katha. So everyone who is speaking Katha, he has Shraddha? Yes? So if the speaker is not having Shraddha, that speaker also must have heard, otherwise how can he speak? So when he was hearing, he didn't have Shraddha, and now he's speaking, he doesn't have it. So some people go to hear because they also want to become the speaker like that. They don't have Shraddha. It's a business, right? Like you make somebody is playing a role of Krishna in the movie, or role of Arjuna in the movie. Does it mean that he actually has Shraddha in Krishna or Arjuna or in their story or Bhagavad Gita? No, not necessarily. But if they are playing the role, they must have heard about Krishna. They have to hear. Otherwise, how they will act the role? So there could be so many different reasons for hearing. That doesn't mean that one has Shraddha. So Shraddha means what? Shraddha nam Vishwas. So Shraddha means Dhrada Vishwas, what the Shastra is saying. Otherwise it is not Shraddha. So a lot of people hear without Shraddha also. Anybody who has any other thoughts on this? Yes.
Sometimes also someone might ask in order to then make fun of the person, for example.
Yeah.
To discover something about me and then stab me in the back or make fun of me.
Yeah, or to refute.
Yeah.
Or to get something from you, then write a paper. Yeah, so many things happen. Okay. So let's do one more sloka. So now he is showing his Shraddha in the next sloka. Because Sukadeva Goswami says, how do I know that you have Shraddha? Give me some proof. And how do I know that you can sit quietly and hear? Because you need full attention for this. So it says, Naisha dussaha kshunmam tyaktodam api badhate pibantam tvanmukhambojha chutam hari kathamritam. So he says that this intolerable hunger and thirst does not disturb me, although I am not drinking water even. Tyaktodam api badhate. So not only that he is not eating, he is not drinking. You can survive long time without eating, but without water, cannot live very long. Because body needs water all the time. We are losing water just by breathing. Every day you need how much? 2 liters of water minimum. And in the summer maybe 5-6 liters. So he says that I am not drinking or eating for last 4 days. And I'm not disturbed by that. So that much Shraddha he has. Because when you like something, you forget eating, right? You become completely absorbed in something. Then you forget your hunger, your thirst. It may be hot, it may be cold. You may be feeling tired, sleepy. All this goes away. When something of very deep interest is being described, or something that really captures your mind, your heart, then you forget your bodily requirements. That is the meaning. Because to pay attention to your bodily requirements, your mind should be free. If your mind becomes absorbed in something else, then these things do not bother you. So if your mind is absorbed in something which is so pleasurable that this trouble of hunger and thirst appears insignificant to you. Otherwise hunger is very troublesome. Nasti kshada samam dukkham. That there is nothing more painful than hunger. If you have actually good fire, then you know what it means to be hungry. So he says, but I am not disturbed by this. Why is that? He says, Pibantam tvam mukhamboja chutam shri harikathamritam. Because I am drinking the amrita in the form of harikatha, the nectar of stories of Krishna, from your lotus mouth, which is dripping from your mouth. I am drinking that, and therefore I am not thirsty. So that shows how much deeply he was absorbed. He is the same person who got angry at Shamika Rishi because he went for hunting and he was thirsty. So he went to the ashram of Shamika Rishi and asked for water. But Shamika Rishi was sitting in meditation and therefore did not hear him. So he got upset, and while leaving, he put a dead snake on the shoulder of the sage. And when his son Shringi came to know about it, he cursed Parikshit. So after that, he did not drink water. So he's been fasting 4 days. People do Nirjala Ekadashi and they go and stand in Yamuna. Or they take a sheet, make it wet and cover themselves with that. Right? Gyani was doing Nirjala Ekadashi, he was sleeping whole day in the basement. He says, I'm doing Nirjala Ekadashi. So fasting does not mean starving. There's a difference between fasting and starving. These are two different phenomena. They should not be confused as one. So he says that I am just relishing the Amrita which is coming from your mouth. That's what Vyasa says in the beginning, Pibata Bhāgavatam rasamalayam moraho rasika bhavi bhavaka. So Parikshit is a rasika. Yes.
How is it connected to Shraddha?
Obviously, if you have Shraddha, that's why you're listening.
I could be just listening because
Just be into them.
it could be just that,
If you like something,
you like something, you're absorbed.
Yeah.
You're thinking, where does the Shraddha come there?
So then, how can you like something if you don't have Shraddha in it? Shraddha is the very basis. Shraddha only when it becomes intensified becomes liking.
Yeah, that's on the intensified level. So in the beginning,
Yeah.
I want to know about the beginning when I do something, I might be just doing it or hearing. because
So
I
if he
have
has,
little liking for
if he has this level of liking, then Shraddha is
Yeah.
part of it. If you have 100 rupees, you also have 1 rupee. Right? So he is saying he has 100 rupees and you are saying how can he have 1 rupee? That's your question. You're asking, where is that 1 rupee? I don't see that. I only see.
So the people who are having these professional reciters, they are just doing it without Shraddha at all? Or
Well, what does Shraddha mean? If there's Shraddha, I mean, they may also have Shraddha and follow it. I'm not saying everybody is like that, but you can recite without Shraddha also.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Shraddha means you take it to your heart, you put it in your life.
Yeah,
If you have Shraddha, if you have Shraddha that milk is good, you will drink it. Not that you preach to everybody, but you don't drink it yourself. Right? But there are people who can speak about milk and its qualities, but they don't drink wine or something else. They don't drink it themselves. So क्षुधा तृषा व्याकुलस्त्वं क्षणं विश्राम्य इति मा avadi ityah. So he says that please don't tell me that I am disturbed by hunger and thirst and I should take rest and then you will speak. He says don't tell me that because I am not disturbed by that. Yakshut brahmanyam api mam munigale sarpam nepadhyat iti bhava. That very hunger which made me put the snake in the neck of the sage, that is not troubling me anymore. Tyaktodamap samprati tu tyakt jalamapi. I have even given up drinking water and still I am not disturbed. Tasyapi badha bhave hetu pibantamiti. Why is that? Because I am drinking. कथा रस वर्तमान निर्देशेन क्षणमपि पान विगमे सैव विवेकहारिणी क्षुधा प्रादुर्भविष्यति इति ज्ञापयति. So pibantam is in the present tense. I am drinking. So he says what it means is that if you stop, then I'll be troubled by that thirst. So please don't stop. So that is the implied sense. The meaning is that I am drinking, but implied sense is that do not stop. Because why I am not troubled by that thirst? Because I am drinking. So if you stop, then I cannot drink, then I'll be troubled. So implied meaning, go on talking. Atra ambhoj padena kathamritasya madhutvam aropitam. Here by calling the word his mukha as ambhoja or lotus means it has honey in it, because lotus has honey. Tena cha tasya madakatvam abhivanjya swasya mattatvadev viprashapadi sarva dukkha saha dukkha vismarakatvam cha dhvanitam. And since he is drinking so much coming out from the lotus mouth, he is now intoxicated. And when you become intoxicated, you don't feel any pain. Right? So either you forget, that's why people drink, and they are stressed out, they drink, so they forget the problem. And when they are too much drunk, they don't feel pain. So he says, I am completely drunk. So no hunger, thirst is bothering me. Yadva amrit padena mukhambhojasya chandratvam aropit. Or because harikathamritam, this amritam is coming from his mouth, and amrit comes from moon. So therefore, this refers to his face is like the moon. Because moon also came out from the ocean. So therefore ambhoja, although generally ambhoja means lotus, but it can be taken as moon also because of the word amritam. Because lotus does not give amrit, lotus gives honey. Amrit comes from the moon rays. So he can change the meaning. Tena mukhasya ambhojatvat saurabhyam chandratvat aladakatvam sarvashrotrijam tamoharitvam swasya cha chakoratvam vyanjita. So now he is bringing out so many vyanjana. That is the speciality of 10th canto. It is full of vyanjana vritti completely. So now if the face is ambhoja, then mukhasya ambhojatvat saurabhyam chandratvat. So it has surabhi means fragrance, if you consider it as lotus, and chandratvat aladkat. But if you consider it as moon, then it is alad, it is giving pleasure. Chadi aladne dhatu. When moon comes out, mind becomes happy. And sarvashrotrijan tamoharitvam, moon also signifies that it dispels the darkness. So it will dispel the darkness of all the audience. And swasya cha chakoratvam vyanjitam, and that means I am like the chakora. So chakora is always looking for the moon rays, that is his food. Manas Chandra Chakora. Right? So sarvthayeva kathaya gadha shakti udyotita. So the significance is that he has very intense attachment to hearing Krishna Katha. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami should not stop. And therefore we will stop, since he is not stopping.
Babaji, I just was having some this thing in my mind regarding this shloka you discussed about Manushya Deham Ashitam. So you also have heard, I'm not sure, I have not read it in the Shastras, but heard that many places that Krishna is Sachidanand Vigraha. And then our own experience is that Sat and Chit and Anand, per se, these three don't have any form from our own experience. They are formless. But then we also hear that he has an eternal human-like body. So how do I reconcile this Satchidanand Vigraha with the eternal human-like body?
So now you have to expand your thinking that he has an eternal body and it is Satchidananda Vigraha, but it is not body like us. So our body is just, you can say, semblance. That's why I'm saying like an abhasa. And his body is real body. And this is only an image. You are the one who are giving Bible logic, right?
Yes, yes.
So therefore it is only a reflection, and that is the real body. So you can think that if there is an image, there is a reflection, then the original object has to have the shape. Okay, anything else?
Yes, Haribol Babaji, Chakora.
Chakora is a bird which drinks the moon rays. So he's always waiting for the moon.
Poetic language, so
yes, poetic.
Is it an image for someone?
This is used in the sense when someone has deep attachment. So then we say he's just like a chakora bird, and the object of attachment is the moon. So that is the poetic example. Okay.